Boris Johnson revokes some EU citizens' rights to stay in the UK, the European Union breaks their promise to ratify the Brexit deal, and the SNP refuses to publish the evidence against Nicola Sturgeon. Hello everyone and welcome to the first programme of the day. We have a lot to talk about today, from the UK government, the Home Office, the European Union refusing to ratify the Brexit trade deal, and the SNP with their saga with Alex Salmond. But first, let's talk about the Home Office. The Times has a story talking about how Boris Johnson's government have now decided to revoke some of the EU citizens' rights to return and stay to work in the UK. They said that EU citizens who left the UK during the pandemic are now set to lose their right to return and stay. This is actually, let's just say it's a coincidence, timing-wise. Let's say it's not linked to all these tensions between the UK and the EU, from the European Union threatening to impose a hard border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Let's say it's got nothing to do with the fact that the European Union messed up the contract with AstraZeneca, then decided to blame the UK. It's just, it's not definitely linked. But what we have is that thousands of European citizens who returned to Europe during the pandemic are now facing to lose their long-term right to stay in Britain. This is according to the Home Office's new strict rules. Government ministers have decided not to relax the residency restrictions agreed in the withdrawal agreement with Brexit negotiations, and left-wing campaigners now call it morally wrong. Now, this decision applies to 1.5 million European citizens who have been given provisional right to remain in the UK at the end of the transition period. As I said, let's just say it's a coincidence in terms of the timing of this, because we have no evidence that it's actually linked. On the one hand, I always welcome strict rules that comes from the Home Office on immigration. On the other hand, there were certain EU citizens who got furloughed and went back to Europe, and now they didn't know this was going to change. So it's not really good look PR-wise for the Home Office as well. The problem that we have is that the European Union are making things even more difficult, because they've now come out to say, according to The Guardian, that they're not going to ratify the Brexit trade deal on time. As you know, the trade deal was signed last minute before the transition period. So neither side had time to actually go back to their parliaments and their institutions to formally ratify it. They said that let's sign it provisionally. Then, in January, February, let's get our parliament, the UK Parliament and the European Union's fake parliament, to formally ratify it. So it's not fully ratified. And now the European Union to seek more time to ratify this trade deal amid tensions with the United Kingdom. It's clearly linked to the tensions because of what we said, everything's been happening for the past 2-3 weeks between the UK and the European Union. And it's perfect timing now for Boris Johnson's government to review and probably renegotiate aspects of this agreement, including the invisible border between Northern Ireland and the United Kingdom, which the European Union promised to make it smooth. They promised that there are not going to be any, obviously, difficulties between the UK, or the rest of the UK and Northern Ireland. Clearly that hasn't happened, so it's time to review it. So The Guardian actually says that the European Union apparently are now asking for at least 2 months delay to ratify this. And Lord Frost, who was the chief negotiator for the United Kingdom, is now blaming Brussels for this, and says that the resolution to solve this now requires a different spirit from the European Union. And he said, the whole thing is now changed. And the European Union apparently, again, appearing with Michael Gove before the House of Lords European Union Committee on Tuesday, he said that the EU need to get used to a genuinely independent actor in its neighbourhood. They do need to understand that we are now an independent and sovereign country. We're not their member. They can't tell us what to do. And this is what they've been doing, whether it's with Northern Ireland, whether it's with the AstraZeneca contracts, the EU demanding us to actually send our own supplies to Europe for absolutely no reason. So it's not really looking good anyway. And this delay is going to be changing a lot of things as well. So they've said that, we have heard informally, the UK said, from the Commission today, that we are likely to get a formal request to extend the 2-month period that is in the treaty for ratification on the European Union side. Now we wait to see what the request constitutes and how long they wish to extend the process for. Obviously, it is a little disappointing given that we did discuss this only a month ago. So Lord Frost is not happy, the UK government are not happy, but actually, as I said, it's perfect timing to review some of the aspects of this agreement now, because the European Union are facing more difficulties. The Bloomberg has an article talking about how Sweden are now leading a group of European countries to fight against the European Union's protectionism. So this European unity that the EU claimed to have, this family, like friendly family, does no longer exist because the European Union decided to get a group together, including countries like Germany and the Netherlands and a number of Scandinavian countries, to fight for open and free and fair trade in opposition to those who want to protect industries. This includes countries like France and the Italian government and a number of others as well, who make things difficult for the rest of Europe to be truly an open, free trade bloc. That's the whole point of when the idea came up decades ago, it was supposed to be a free trade zone, but now it's a protectionist bloc, and that's why, although I am still skeptical to have countries like Germany involved in this group. Yes, Germany, technically speaking, are pro-free trade, but they are still protectionist because of their socialist tendencies. So they might make things difficult. And so if Sweden and all the other countries, including the Netherlands, who are truly free traders, think that Germany will just be complete allies, they'll be mistaken, because at some point the German government will come up with some sort of demand. This is the map that we have of the countries. The Free Trade Group formed a year ago at a meeting of like-minded trade ministers in Sweden. Now includes a number of countries, Finland, Denmark, and so as you can see, the map has completely divided the European Union nations. As I said, this unity is out of the window. So it's interesting. There are now 8 EU countries in this group fighting against the EU's protectionism, and I'm not sure how Ursula von der Leyen and the European Commission will react to this. Pretty sure this movement is not going to get anywhere. The European Union are not going to allow actual open trade with the world. This is not what they want. But things will change, and this issue might actually escalate, so we'll keep you guys posted on this channel. But let's go to the Scottish Nationalist Party. We've been reporting on a daily basis on this scandal with Alex Salmond, who says he's not guilty in terms of the harassment allegations. He now says that Nicola Sturgeon has lied to the Scottish Parliament and she has to go. The Scottish Parliament, the committee, were discussing whether they should publish the evidence against Nicola Sturgeon. And Alex Salmond said, if you don't publish it, I'm not going to appear in front of the hearing, the committee. And guess what? The SNP members have blocked the publication of the evidence. And so Alex Salmond has now said that he refuses to join this committee now to give more kind of obviously testimony and evidence. And he has recently threatened to do a press conference on live TV to actually provide his own evidence against Nicola Sturgeon. So the drama is still here. Get your popcorn. Things are escalating. And the number of SNP MPs who voted against it, as opposed to the Tories and Labour, is astonishing. So Nicola Sturgeon has other priorities. She's not worried about that. She's more worried about rejoining the European Union. So the Express reports that Nicola Sturgeon issues an appeal to rejoin the EU in German media, and it got shut down. Guess by whom? The German government. So she's led an appeal for an independent Scotland to rejoin the EU with an op-ed for German publications, but they were quickly slammed by officials in Angela Merkel's government. So Nicola Sturgeon, everything's going completely well for her government. She has added during this, saying that Scotland, like all nations, is unique. Well, yes, Scotland, in terms of the Scottish people, are unique, but also Scottish government is also unique in terms of incompetence and shambles that they create. And she says the same can be said of our constitutional circumstances. More and more people in Scotland believe our aspirations can best be met by continuing to contribute to the shared endeavour that the EU represents. So boring. It's just getting old. It's as boring as their aspirations to have their second referendum. because one of their members, Pete Wishart, has come out to say that actually second Scottish independence referendum is still possible. You know, probably if not this year, because a week ago they were saying that it would be 2021. Now they're saying that, probably 2022. You know what? It's not going to happen. Stop trying. It's embarrassing. Just resign. Leave us alone. Leave the Scottish people alone. They deserve much better. And finally, today's segment of News in Your World. As you know, we have this new segment where subscribers of the channel send us an email with some sort of happy and positive story from their life to end each program on a positive and light-hearted note. So let's go to today's news, which is from Romeo. Romeo actually has some good news from her mother and from his mother and Nan, who have now received their vaccine, their first vaccine. He actually is a full-time carer for them. He was a teacher before the pandemic, but now decided to be a full-time carer for them because of the circumstances. And you know, he's happy that that they have some sort of form of immunity now against this virus. And he says that I can now stop stressing about everything and look to the future in a positive light. Also, your videos keep me hopeful, so thank you. Yes, Romeo, again, just like many others, since this whole thing started in 2020, who their life circumstances change, especially with work and their careers. But in a weird way, this whole crisis has brought a lot of people closer together. Again, as you can see, friends, families who now take care of each other. So well done to Romeo for taking care of his family, and I'm glad that his mother and his nan have now, you know, obviously received their jab. So hopefully they should be now safe and have received immunity. If you guys want to be featured in our daily News in Your World segment, send us your story, positive story, with any relevant picture or video, because you know there could be something that has a photo on it. Send it to lacey@myatousi.co.uk. The email is in the description as well. Send us your story with any photos, any attachments that you have. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell next to it so you get notified when I release a new video. I'm Maya Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.